We're in phase 2 right now, ETH season. In phase 2, we want to be heavy on tier 1 and tier 2 tokens. But why is that? Phase 2 is called ETH season, so why the hell would we want a bunch of large caps and not to just be 100% in ETH? Because we want to front run the pump. By the time we're deep into phase 3, the major large caps have already started pumping hard. We want to be positioned before that happens. That's why my portfolio is large cap heavy right now. As we see the signals that we're moving from phase 2 to phase 3, things like Bitcoin dominance dropping, it'll probably be going below 60% at this point, and total free ETH bottoming, we start targeting the next stage of the rotation. We start moving to tier 3. In practice, this is what it looks like for me. So I might sell off the rest of my Solana. I'll sell just over half of my BTC, ETH, SUI, and XRP. Don't hate me, XRP crew. I'm just playing the rotations. So the portfolio will look something like BTC 10, ETH 10, SUI 5, and XRP 5. What I'm doing here is I'm significantly lowering my exposure to tier 1 and tier 2 assets and going heavier into tier 3 assets. Does this mean I think that BTC, ETH, SUI, and XRP are going to stop pumping? No, it's because I believe that at this point in the cycle, tier 3 assets will start to outperform them. It's about maximizing opportunity cost. My portfolio might end up looking something like this. And to be clear, I'm not shilling any of these cryptos specifically, guys. It's just an example, right? So it might end up looking like BTC 10%, ETH 10, SUI 5, XRP 5, Ondo 15, Tau 15, CAS 15. Now, you might already own some tier 3 assets today, and that's fine. I just think that right now, in this moment, it's safer and more profitable and lower stress to be overweight in tier 1 and tier 2 assets, then rotate into tier 3 as the phases roll on. If you want to hold some tier 3 positions right now and just increase your bags as the phases roll on, you can do that too. Okay, so now we've rotated, we're holding a load of tier 3 assets and we're in phase 3. We're not done. The game gets faster from here. Things usually speed up. I'm watching that BTC dominance chart like a hawk. When it's clear that we're falling hard towards the green zone that LOC talks about, let's say around 56% when we're pushing towards that, and total free ETH has confirmed a strong reversal, I start trimming those tier 3 plays just like I did with the tier 2 plays. I might drop one completely, like Tau in this example, trim more than half of the others. And where does that capital go? You guessed it, it goes into tier 4 tokens. The low caps, under $1 billion market cap. Again, these are just examples, I'm not shilling here. BTC 10%, ETH 10, SUI 5, XRP 5, Ondo 5, CAS 5, Aero 15, XMW 15, MLC 15. And remember, I still have a degen bag on the side, the high risk part of my barbell for degen plays, memes, all that kind of stuff. Also, technically speaking, this isn't really a barbell portfolio anymore. It's become more of a core satellite portfolio at this point, but whatever. The point is that we're rapidly heading towards phase 4, the euphoria phase, and that's when these smaller coins have their moment to go absolutely parabolic. That is where you find potentially, no promises, the 50 to 100x returns that we've seen in previous alt season. And I know what you're thinking, but Nick, some random meme coin already did 100x 2 days ago and we're in phase 2. Yeah, I know, but remember my barbell, that 20% high risk bag, that's my exposure to those kind of random lottery tickets. The bulk of my capital, the 80%, follows this safer, more disciplined rotation strategy because I'm here to survive long-term, not gamble. Now, this is the other question I know some of you are asking. Nick, this is complicated. Why not just buy low cap alts now and wait? That's an easy one to answer. How many times this cycle has the market teased us with the start of alt season only to rug us? March 2024, May 2024, December 2024, every single time we failed to move from phase 2 to phase 3, what happened to alts? They collapsed, they set new lows, they bled out while BTC and ETH held relatively strong. We all felt it. That's why I don't want to rotate the bulk of my capital into tier 3 and tier 4 assets while we're still grinding through phase 2. The risk of another failed breakout is too high. And guys, in this market, patience isn't just a virtue, it's an actual survival tactic. And by the way, guys, if you actually want to trade this market and not just survive it, you need a system. That's why I built Wealth Lab, my free crypto school, where I teach technical analysis and charting from beginner to advanced. No fluff, no hype, just real usable analysis. Click the link below, it's free. Now back to rotation science. Rotating isn't about perfectly calling tops or bottoms. It's about understanding one simple thing, where capital is flowing. Capital flows down the risk curve from tier 1 assets to tier 4 assets. Our job is to front run that flow. But if we front run too hard, too early, we get absolutely wrecked when the rotation fails to materialize. That's why we follow the signals. That's why we front run the structure, but only slightly. And that's why we trim into strength, not panic sell into weakness. You don't need 50 coins. You don't need to be a genius. You just need conviction, timing, and discipline. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. I know Lady Crypto gives you a big kiss at the end of these. I'm not going to kiss you. You don't want a kiss from me anyway. Bye.